Okay, there we go. So yeah, like I was saying, there is an underlying trend amid all the bad about a growing movement of the population, not just here in the US, but abroad, in recognizing the dangers of authoritarianism, in recognizing some of the failings of neoliberalism, and in recognizing a lot of the inequities, and calling out a lot of the bigotry that's been kind of ever present in our society. Yeah, Garlic. It's always hard to say until the Reichstag event, right? Which side the population will fall on. One advantage, question mark, that I would say the United States has is a movement like was seen in Germany does require not only a lot of the population to be passive, which certainly I could see, but it also necessitates that the military itself is willing to throw democracy out. They would have to ultimately go along with any sort of takeover like that. And something, while some of the soldiers do certainly have a history of falling in line with far-right groups, most of the brass doesn't seem to. They certainly are not perfect, like a lot of the attitudes about international affairs are deeply imperialistic still, but you know, we've seen pushback from the Joint Chiefs of Staff and stuff about allowing the military to study like critical race theory and things like that. They always call bullshit when there's an effort to shut down diversity. There was a lot of pushback when the Trump administration sought to ban trans people from surfing. And that pushback not only came from the population, but also from the military itself. Having the military could conceivably split, but not in a meaningful way. It does have a chain of command pretty rigidly built into it, and even when they disagree about things, the command structures and the logistics and stuff really do rely on that sort of chain of command to function. So as long as, you know, those, you know, our 4 and 5-star generals are not willing to go the route of a complete rejection of democracy, then that is a line of defense that I think is useful. I'm not saying that, you know, we shouldn't be worried. I'm just kind of, I do try to stay somewhat optimistic, not unrealistically so, but right. They, actually what we've seen, what continues to come out, is there was a concerted effort within those in the military to ensure that Trump couldn't do a military coup. They had contingencies and stuff that they were working on to prevent it if he fully attempted. Yes, there was there have been some communications released from Milley and some of the other generals talking about that exact possibility and the steps they could take to prevent it. Which, yeah, that's worth looking into. there is going to be an increase in intensity of the reactionary right. I do not know what the future looks like, but I do know the social trend is towards more equitable and more egalitarian views. So as long as we keep talking and keep people engaged and don't fall back into the trap of just everybody shut up, don't talk about politics at all, don't talk about policy at all, never challenge each other's views. As long as we keep talking, I do think society is moving in generally the right direction, especially in younger generations. So yeah, that is also an area where I talk about, some of my own activism and stuff sometimes, and I've seen a few thoughts about this, and one which I don't agree with. Some people seem to be under the impression that when you are doing things, you shouldn't necessarily talk about them, or you might appear that you're like bragging about it or like seeking clout for it. I don't see it that way. And I think we need to normalize and encourage actually talking about the things that you are involved with in doing, however small or however big, because it allows you to kind of advertise for that cause, whatever it is, and raise awareness for this effort that that you're trying to advocate for, whatever it is. So in the next year, I really do want to see people. We talk a lot about politics and the news and stuff on this channel and in the Discord, and I'd really like to see what more people are up to, and maybe in the course of that, it also opens the door for people who are like struggling to find their place in activism, because a lot of times the attitude, the thing is, I want to do something, but I don't know where to start. Like, I recognize this is an issue. Tell me where to go. And in talking about various efforts that you're involved in, even if it's just, raising money for something, even if it's not like getting your hands on something in the street, that can be a way of diverting attention to and giving people answers to what they can do to get involved in things. So yeah, I'd really like to see that step up. I'll be making a post about that to that effect as well. So yeah, I'd like to start actually organizing and directing people more to actions they can take. Let's see. Thank you, Jane. Yeah, I was gonna look something up, but I was in the middle of a train of thought. But yes, this is covering what I was referring to. He did talk about this quite a bit, and yeah, counterinsurgency warfare. Let me scan through this real quick. Da, da, da. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave that for you to read, honestly. Let me